Alrighty. Hello, everybody. How's it going today? How are we doing today, everybody? How are we doing today? I hope we're doing good. Ooh. Hopefully everybody's doing pretty good. I'll wait for people to trickle in. Hey, Diego. How are you today, Diego? Ivan, my dude, how are you? I'm doing very good, Diego. Doing very good. I'm doing great, Ivan. Doing good. It's been a good day so far. Good day so far. I made it'll be better once everything is done. This is true. This is very true. We'll have some things we'll have to discuss in that regard, but no, nothing too major. Just things that'll need to get done by the proper time, of course. We're getting close to the end, you know. Let's see. One assignment for English in this class. All right. See, that isn't so bad. You're doing fine. Doing just fine. Not. Uh, All right. All right, let's do this. Thumbs up, let's do this. Yeah. How's it going, everybody? Welcome back. Welcome back. Let's do this here. Okay, let's get started today. Welcome back to Monday. Hopefully, a nice weekend. So today, let's talk about what's going on here today. Today, we're vibing a little bit. I'm going to turn down the vibes though. I need to focus on what I'm talking about. All right. So today again, we finished up the material last time actually. So we did some more examples there from section 10.3, and effectively we are done with the textbook. Now, just as a friendly reminder here, and I'm going to show this on screen here in just a moment. So we're going to got a couple things we have to look at here, because it doesn't look like we're doing much, but in reality we actually are doing a little bit. So okay. So let's talk about what we're gonna be doing here for this course, at least what you'll need to be doing here for the next few days, or actually the next 10, 11 days. So I'm gonna bring up here, and I need to bring up this part here. So there we go. Okay. So let me go ahead and show this off here because I need for you guys to see what's going on. So for you to see what's going on here, gonna switch over to this. There you go. Okay, so what you see here is you see you should see the test there, okay, and all that jazz. I hope you guys see that already. So um, now everything, as you can see, has been due on the 18th, and that's still going to hold true. So the chapters 6 to 10 test will be due in the 18th and stuff like that. All the homeworks are going to be open. All that stuff is going to be set and ready to go. Now, let's talk about the final exam here. All right, so the final exam for this course, and I may have not have mentioned it before, but I'll mention it even if I have or have not. All right, there will be 50 questions for the final exam. Now, where did I get the 50 questions? Well, the 50 questions I got directly from 25 questions from the first test and 25 questions from the second test. So basically, if you want to review a little bit for the final exam, the reason why you don't see a final exam practice is because basically I just randomly chose 25 questions from the first one and 25 questions from the second one, and then amalgamated that together into a 50 question final, and then I called it good. So all the questions should look pretty much exactly the same as, with the exception to the numbers, of course, as what you've seen on both tests pretty much put together. Now, I wasn't going to give 100 questions on the test, but again, 50 questions there is pretty fair given the amount of time I'm going to give you. So with the amount of time I'm giving you here, which is a fair bit of time here, so if I go back to my assignments tab here, yeah, I'm giving you 3 chances in 10 hours to do the final exam. So plenty of time for you to do it and give it a go. If you haven't done the other 2 exams yet, well, now's a good time to go ahead and do so. It won't be so bad to catch up with some of the work. Again, you got until the 18th there to finish. So that's that Friday of finals week there. So I've given you an extra day there in order to get things done as quickly as possible. Um, oops, that's my wrong thing there. Are there any questions about the homework there? No? Okay. Everything due the 18th. That is correct. I'm going to be sending some emails probably later tonight to like everybody. I have a lot of emails to send out tonight. So I'm probably going to send out those emails tonight and then get things kind of squared away in terms of what the expectations are. But yes, you'll have 11 days from today. That's the last date to do anything and everything. Nah, man, I don't expect you to fail me, Diego. More so, you won't fail me as much as you'd be failing yourself. So I wouldn't be disappointed, but you'd be disappointed in you. And that's the last thing any of us want. I know you guys have put in the time to even come to my classes. You guys being the consistent ones of coming in every single time. And for that, I really respect that. Yeah, you're doing it. Yeah, I haven't forgotten since the first day. You're doing this for your future. So, this is important to you more than it is important to anyone else. You look forward to this class. It's very kind of you to say. I'm glad you found this class to be super fun. I know it's been boring at times and things like that, but you know, I like to build up a good community at least here. At least hopefully you took away some important lessons that you can certainly use. I made it fun. I hope so. Math is pretty boring if it's not fun. Yeah, sometimes it's difficult. I ain't gonna lie. That's just how it is, though. Math is never going to be easy at all times. You can't coast it. You can't coast at life. Math is definitely one of those things you can't coast at all the time. You just have to be very extra careful about that. That's all. I just love the idea of teaching, though. Teaching's less like, man, what a blast. I think once I started teaching in grad school and things went kind of, you know, and after the amount of shenanigans I pulled in grad school, I was like, yeah, this is super fun. I don't think there was a time where I didn't pull shenanigans in school when I was in grad school, when I was teaching. So many shenanigans, so little time. Hmm, okay. Well, let me ask you guys this question. Does anybody have any questions that they want me to answer? So, I want to be sure that if there's anything that you guys didn't get or something like that, is there anything that you guys want me to kind of talk about, or is there any other non-math related questions that you'd like to ask? I'm sure that over the course of the past 16 weeks, you've gotten to know me rather well. But if there's anything that you'd like to ask now, I mean, it's kind of like basically today's class and next class are the last two classes that we're having for the semester. After that, there are no more classes. So, this is kind of like your last opportunity to kind of ask if you want to ask. So, I want to give you guys the proper opportunity though. Anything? What other time? What other times do I stream? Not education though. Currently I don't have a stream that's just not education based at this moment because most of my time is revolved around any of the classes that I teach. But maybe in the winter and for winter break, maybe I'll be posting, I'll be doing some streams, just for funsies. Maybe just sitting and chilling and, just being relaxed and stuff like that. I figured that, with Cyberpunk 2077 coming out this week, I figure you could stream that game when it comes out. And since it's a single player experience, everybody can kind of experience it together. But it's like, that's just an idea. So, but it'll be something akin to something like that. Yeah. Okay, got two more sections of chapter 9. Oh, those should be pretty fast and simple. Chapter 9 doesn't require too much since it's just formulas that you're using. Hopefully, you started to put a lot of the pieces together, and hopefully, trigonometry made a whole lot more sense. Yeah, I'm just like I said, I'm just a guy. So I'm working on a project behind the scenes. Well, I wouldn't even call it a project, I guess. But I'm trying to get something done for hashtag United. So see if I can make that happen. Yeah, there's I try and put in little nuggets so that way if one way doesn't work, then hopefully another way works. For every person it's very different until they get that moment where it just kind of all clicks together. So, well, here's what I want to be working on here with hashtag. So, again, hashtag is based in England. So, obviously I can't go to England at this time to go do anything. However, one of the things that I wanted to do is, since they're kind of a, starting kind of fledgling club, having better video equipment so they can start using technology to stream games and study games for analysis sake is very important to helping the team improve. So I was thinking about financing a project of getting them, say, a new camera or something to that effect. And with right now it's a shoestring crew, so you're not talking like cameras that everybody can hold around. You're talking like an AI camera that can survey the pitch and run a game without having to the use of a human being necessarily. And then you can get more work done on the side while while the camera's doing its work and whatnot. So that's kind of the thing that right now, as I feel as I look at it, it's like, hey, the club's doing great work. Yeah, the club's doing great work with a current, I mean, with any time you're a small club, you're working with skeleton crews quite often. And luckily, you have a lot of exposure, with a team that's based, from the internet, like hashtag United has. But it's just a matter of how can you exploit that even further, to further their goals, which is to get more exposure for the team. And so there's a lot of exposure for the team, but now it's just like, hey, we want, you want staying power. So I think if you're associating yourself with technology, then the best way to do it is to have technology kitted out so that way it reflects exactly what you're all about. Yeah, I'm working with some of the guys. I want to see what their ideas are, what I think would be useful, and then I would end up like financing the project there in some capacity. um, so like for example here, there's Yeah, I was kind of doing some research there today, and I was doing research about Pixelot, and Pixelot is a one camera system um, that can survey the whole field all at once and things like that. So you mount it, it gets mounted somewhere on a pole or something like that, and it's used by a bunch of teams, of course. But again, you can have an online interface. You can put together analytics with Pixelot. This is just like one system of many that are out there. So trying to find the best alternative for a small team is very useful. That's for sure. So, and that's what you want to do is grow the club. So, you know, is everything up to date on that? If you've been watching the classes you missed here on Twitch, yes, absolutely, everything is up to date. So, yeah, yeah, you have the opportunity to take that second test, and you have the opportunity to take that final exam for it, and you be able to finish that stuff up by next Friday. So be sure to save your work before, of course, midnight next week, so that way it all counts for points. So, yeah, I know that a lot of people weren't able to come to lectures, and I know for a fact that's due to the fact that, again, the times that we have these lectures typically are during times where people are working or, again, just getting off of work. So I completely understand where you're coming from in that regard, you know, completely understand. So that's why I wasn't like harsh on attendance or things like that. I'm like, a lot of you guys work, you guys are trying to survive, you're trying to make the monies, and I respect that process. So, um 5 hours a night, oof, bro, you don't need sleep. You don't need rest, it's overrated. Yeah, the machine, I tell you. Ford, where do you work that makes you work 55 to 60 hours a week, if I may ask, anyway? 5 hours a night, brutal. Ah, you're a welder, I see, that makes sense. Yeah, you guys make good scratch though, which is really positive. So, I mean, I'm down for helping you guys out. Absolutely, 100%. It's in Crystal Lake. Okay. Yeah, yeah. No, you guys make good bank. Even though it's a lot of work, I will admit that. Absolutely. But I like helping you guys out. You guys are amazing. The true heroes, the ones who are down in the trenches. There. Hey, man. I've taught this class many, many times. Many, many times. Um, I don't know if you guys remember Stuart Templeton at all. You guys remember Stu? Or have you guys met Stu before? He was at the college until just recently. He moved down to Tennessee. Actually, right after the pandemic hit, so fortuitous timing, but that's just how it planned out. But if you did get a chance to meet Stu, Stu was actually one of my first, was in my first ever 097 class. Yeah, Stu was actually one of the guys who was running some of the programs behind the scenes before he moved to Tennessee there last semester. Yeah, right. He would run machines. He would help out in the lab a little bit. Yeah. So Stu was actually one of my first students in 097 way back when, because I was the first to teach this class, and basically I've taught it literally every year since. So in some capacity. So I don't think I've gone a year since this class actually started where I haven't taught it. So I just enjoy that much, and I know how hard you have to work, in order to get the certs and things like that. And I know that there's a lot of stigma, even working in the how people view welders and stuff. And I'm like, I don't get it. They're literally giving it, like, the amount of people who come through the door for like Harper. Like, seriously, there's so many employers. Like, before the whole pandemic, there were so many employers who walked through the door who were literally asked for you guys. Says, hey, we need welders on the floor. We'll just give you the money. It's like, here's some money. We'll get you through schooling. Here you go. Have fun. Goodbye. I mean, literally, they're just handing stuff out to you. I mean, if they're asking you to just basically work, it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. Hey, the question is how much. Jeez. Uh, yeah. I mean, you guys put in the time and the effort. Nurses, people who work in welding, CNCers, machinists. People who work in the plasma cutters and whatnot. Like, I know Bob does a lot with the with the plasma cutters and stuff. You know, I mean, it's great. It's absolutely crazy how the HVAC guys, the electrical guys, they get a lot of disrespect. But I'm like, you guys, those are the guys that are having the jobs. Those are the guys that are actually having not to worry about where they find their next work, because we desperately need those people. And if you're like talking like easy money and stuff. Yeah, you had them for you had 'em for welding fabrication. Do you know who's do you know who's doing power sources at all? Like, I've seen Bob do welding fab, but I don't know who's doing power sources now. Because the person who was doing power sources before, yeah, tragically passed away. So he was a good colleague of mine. So I was wondering who replaced him. Bob did cutting processes. Okay. Man, Bob's a good dude. He's super funny and super relaxed. Adam does welding fab. Okay, I gotcha. I gotcha. You know who's also really good is Carlos. Carlos is really good too. Carlos and Aaron as well. Those guys work in the shop really well. Yeah, Bob's one of the good ones, definitely. Carlos is so enthusiastic, man. Like he and I talked over the summer a bit because I was helping him with some math stuff. So yeah, it was like, yeah, Carlos is such a good guy, like legit. Like he's just such a nice guy, and he's really really passionate about what he does, and that's one of the things I love about Carlos is that his passion is just super infectious. Like Carlos showed me like the funniest thing is we're sitting and talking. He's like, I gotta show you this video, right? I'm like, well, what are you doing? He's like, yeah, there's this video about us putting up a highway sign, and welding it together and stuff like that is like a major project. He's just showing how cool it was just to stand up there putting on the green signs on the highway. I'm like, holy cow, you're such a nerd, but I love it. I love it. I can't really argue. I can't argue as what a nerd you are. You're amazing. Yeah, it's true. It's true. Car- Carlos is a Carlos is an amazing dude. An amazing dude. Love him. I love everybody in that department. Ever since I started with 097, yeah, I've enjoyed every single second of it. I've even taught a couple classes actually in the manufacturing department. Yeah, Kurt gave me the opportunity to do so, which is really rare. So I taught a prints and schematics class and a maintenance safety class. Yeah, what was it? Man, it was MNT. Oh man, I want to say it was like 103. I have to take a look here. I forget the numbers off the top of my head, but it was like the safety cert, like the MSSE safety cert. Um, and I did prints and schematics. Yeah, I did prints and schematics. The class is a pain, but once you understand how things work, you'll see where the math kind of fits in. But it's just like logically putting things together, really, with prints and schematics. So and I kind of always went off the rails when with prints and schematics because you got to ground yourself in reality when doing prints and schematics. So I can't offer that perspective necessarily because I've never worked in manufacturing, but at the same time, if I'm looking at things logically, if I'm looking at it from the perspective of the person who's doing the process of actually producing the part, well, then yeah, you have to think of it in terms of how the engineer looks at it. So that's mathematical in nature more than it is actually putting it into practice. So there's two sides to every story. Yeah, it is exactly like that. It is a big mess. It's a big mess, but it's like a cake. You put all that stuff together, and then only finally at the very end does it actually look like anything resembling what you thought it would what you thought it would be. But you need like all those little pieces to before you can start putting it together. Same with like the safety course. Like let's learn about lockout tagout. Like all right, let's learn about auditing. Okay, cool. Safety auditing. Let's learn about OSHA regulations. Let's learn about Let's learn about conversions. Let's learn about micrometers. Let's learn about calipers. Like, there's just so much to learn. It's just like, man, holy cow. Yeah, jammed into 8 weeks. Yeah, that's very true. Jammed into 8 weeks. It's quite a lot to take in all at once. But admittingly, I mean, you get done faster, and you can get that cert done, and then you'll be pretty much good to go. And that's what we're really after, making sure that you pass those cert tests, and you get well on your way to moving up the financial ladder a bit. That's why it never gets boring, ever. Does anybody else have any other questions? No, you're doing assignments. That's fair. That's fair, Diego. Of course, that's certainly definitely something that you'll have to finish here in the next week and a half. So, just on our steak dinner thoughts. Yeah, actually, I do need to make a decision by next class about our steak dinner. This is true. We need to be able to meet up for some steak, or at least something else. But steak, yes. I just don't know if I don't know if there are any restaurants that are necessarily open to sit down for steak, because I don't know what the protocols are these days with the COVID stuff. No, you don't think so? Okay, let me check that out then. Let's see. Can you dine in at let's see here. So let's say we went to like Longhorn, right, which is down the street. So this won't allow you to dine in. I know they used to allow you to dine in, but let's see here. Let's see here. Steakhouse dine in. Yeah, but carryouts aren't the same. You got one thing about steak is like you got to have it like hot on the plate sort of deal. That's a shame too. Yeah, the smaller places have stayed open. Um, yeah, Texas State, Brazil. How sad. I'm sad. Texas State, Brazil would be great. Um, hey, Outback Steakhouse has open dining rooms. Although I don't know if you call it, I won't call it the greatest steak you've ever had sort of deal. But it is a place that apparently has dine-in open, according to what this says. But then again, that could easily change as well. Hmm. Or, I don't know. Yeah, Outback's so kind of, to be fair, Outback's okay. I mean, it isn't like the greatest food you're gonna get in a whole long time. It's kind of like right in your middle, mediocre sort of thing. I mean, again, most of Schaumburg's pretty mediocre, to be fair. So, Yeah, they don't even have dine-in at these places, so they're probably like nothing's gone on dine-in right now, unless you order out. So the only way we could do this is if we ordered out, and then we had to pick it up and then eat somewhere else. That's probably what has to happen. Yeah, we should probably wait a little then, because then maybe if the COVID crisis goes away, then we could possibly have this actual meeting here sometime after winter break. Hopefully they'll start relaxing rules a little bit. That would make the most sense, at least from where I'm sitting. I'm a yes. I'll take the vaccine. 10 times out of 10, man. Reason why is because reason why is that I have to do my I have to do my duty here. Yeah, I don't know where Ivan's house is. I know I have personal info, but I don't go ahead and use that. I'd rather have somebody tell me. I don't mind visiting your house. It's not a big deal. Oh, you're in Streamwood. You're not too far away from here. But yeah, to be fair, yeah, if I'm gonna get antibodies, I want to be sure that I can spread those antibodies to others, so you can start building up herd immunity. So the more antibodies that are out there once you take the vaccine, then and the better off you'll be. I'll take the risk. I'll be happy to take the risk. Honestly, I don't think that there'll be that big of a risk, but still, um, you know, I'd rather not walk around and feel like a feel like a super spreader of this disease. I'd rather be a super spreader of the antibodies more than a super spreader of the disease. So, I would assume that you could get a choice of vaccine, because there are going to be three major vaccines in the pipeline. So you have, of course, the Pfizer and Moderna, and also the AstraZeneca vaccines. So, I'm sure that depending on the place you go to, they'll have a particular vaccine that they would like to administer. So you may actually have a choice. Again, as far as I'm aware of, they're all in two stages. So one one given right away, and then one I think you wait like a few weeks or a month to get the second dose or something to that effect. So I don't know how that works, but then you get apparently you're gonna get this little COVID-19 card that says when you got immunizations for COVID-19. So that way you can, if you want to travel overseas or maybe travel in general, I'm not sure how they'll handle that, but yeah, you can show the COVID card and be like, hey, I got the vaccination on such and such date and blah, blah, blah. So that's my argument for going and get the vaccine there. All right. Any other questions, guys? Yeah, we'll wait. And then hopefully once we'll meet again, hopefully when the restrictions are done, then, you know, you never thought it'd be like that, like in terms of choice of vaccines and stuff? Yeah. So I saw a couple news articles regarding a COVID card thing, where they give you like this little small card, and they you got to fill out when you got the COVID shots and stuff. But yeah, you can ban. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised because of how fast it spread and the kind of the devastating effects that it has. It wouldn't shock me in the slightest, like that you would have to prove you got vaccinated, and then you could board a flight, or internationally or domestically, however airlines will handle that. So because probably if you're inside an enclosed space and stuff like that, you have to be very aware about how to make sure that doesn't spread to other people. So yeah, yeah, yeah. Anything else, guys? No, sir. Okay. Well, I guess we're going to come back on Wednesday for our very final class here. Okay, again, if you have any more questions, can please bring that for the very final class for the semester there. And again, you have until the 18th of which to finish all your homework assignments and tests. So be sure to go ahead and do that while you still have the chance. 11 days, ladies and gentlemen. 11 days. All right? But we're going to see you for the last class in 2 days. Yeah, last class. I know. I know. It's been it's certainly been a journey the past 16 weeks. Sadness. It's true. It's true. Lots of sadness. But yeah, I know it's big sad. I'll concur. I'll always look forward to talking with you guys every Monday and Wednesday. But as the saying goes, all good things must come to an end. Unfortunately, this class has to end at some point. However, that doesn't mean I actually leave. It means you can still talk to me even outside of this class. I'm not a guy who you just talk to in class and then that's it. No, I'm a human being. Am I on LinkedIn? Yes. I don't really log into LinkedIn all that often, but yeah, I'm on LinkedIn. So if you want to throw me an invite and stuff like that. For amigos, well, I appreciate that, Diego. I appreciate that, buddy. LinkedIn is a website for like professionals. Like you post your work history and whatnot on there. And again, it's like think of it like professional Facebook, but without all the toxicity that Facebook brings necessarily. Well, you can put your work history on there, and people can actually recruit you, looking at your LinkedIn profile. So, as you can tell, I'm clearly not professional whatsoever. But some people do contact me, not companies per se, but there's some people who I talk to through LinkedIn on occasion. So, I'm just not the kind of guy, be honest there, Ivan. I'm not the kind of guy who likes office work either. I'm not made for the corporate world. I'm made for doing something different. So, I worked in the corporate world and I didn't really find it too much fun. So, some people like that environment and can thrive in it. I'm just not that type of guy. So, I could totally get where you're coming from on that. So, it's just a matter of what feels comfortable for you and what you feel would be the most rewarding. So, and if it ain't office work, well then, hey, that's totally understandable. Yeah, at some point I don't want to, I agree. You don't want to play the politics, you don't want to play the nonsense, the crazy rules. It's out of control sometimes, and it's just like it kind of grates you over and over and over again. But yeah, man, there's trust me, once you get to something that you want to do, yeah, those days will be far behind you then. You just do something different. Alrighty. Wow, really? Wow. Drop me a connect request on LinkedIn. Okay, cool. Thanks. Thanks, man. I'll take a look at that later. Yeah, I'm not super hard to find. On Facebook I am, but that's because my name is really common, which is a problem. Well, okay, to be fair, but yeah, my name is really common, okay? My name is super common. All right, I'm like the John Smith of the Arab world, okay? That's just what it is, all right? That's how my name is. Like there are like a bazillion Ali Maliks out there, like legitimate. People listen to it for the first time, they're like, "Oh yeah, that's pretty unusual." And then when you go look further, you're like, "Yeah, there's a lot of people who are actually named like that." I'm like, "Oh yeah, okay." Like, yeah, there's my anonymity. Yeah, globally, you betcha. there, there are a ton of people with my first and last name in some form or fashion. All right, guys. Again, I want to thank you guys so much for coming out to the stream here once again. I will see you all on Wednesday. Love you guys very much. And you guys have yourself a wonderful night. Okay? Take care of yourselves, and we'll see you in a couple days. Last class, everybody. We'll see you soon. All right. Take care.